In other words, you can share this with other people, with your team, and you can also teach them how to do it, okay? Allow me, I'll share it here. To be able to fully and clearly understand the overall strategy here, Jessica, please, let's take a moment to carefully go over the bonuses just a little bit more in detail. A super quick review of the bonuses so that we can understand what can be done, okay?
Okay, of course, Juan. This week we had an intensive session on the compensation plan. So it's going to be very easy because we basically have the information very fresh, right, everyone? So reviewing the bonuses specifically, we actually have 7 bonuses. One is the fast start bonus, which you earn only if you manage to connect 5 people with $500 each during the first 14 days, a bonus of $150, or 5 people during the first 14 days with $1,000 plans, which is a bonus of $300. That's the fast start bonus. And the other 6 bonuses are broken down depending on the products we activate and the sales volume we have. There's the direct bonus, which is a percentage of all the direct sales you generate. The differential bonus, which is a percentage, it's the difference between the direct bonus of your referrals and your own bonus. The awards, which are plans that B Global activates for you for 10 months and you enjoy the profits for 10 months. Matching bonus, which is earning bonuses based on the bonuses your direct referrals receive really great. The business pack, which is a booster for benefits and commissions, helps you earn more right away. And the bonuses for Nate Bauro, which is a bonus system independent from the ones we already have here. For each Nate Bauro plan, we activate.
All right, let's leave it there. Let's Let's look at an example. Hold on a moment, Jessica, because that's fine. Thank you very much for what you're explaining, but I want to do a practical example so that we can understand it a little better. Okay, give me just a second. You're doing great, my dear Jessica. However, I understand that you've already done this explanation, right? I understand it this way so that you can see what you can actually achieve. The main goal you should aim for is to get as many bonuses as the company pays out, because by having the most bonuses, right, well, you're gonna build a residual income. So a lot of people tell me, Juan, well, it's great if I have about $10,000 and they pay me 8%, then I've made it, right? I'd be making $800. But what happens if I don't have the 10,000 and I only have, say, 50, 100, or $200 to start with? Well, the company is going to pay you 8% on that amount. But if I start working and go after the bonuses, when I say go after the bonuses, I mean, I try to reach those bonuses, then I can immediately set myself up with a really interesting residual income. And the first goal I tell you that you should aim for is to earn $3,750 in bonuses, which will give you a residual of $3,750 at 13.8%, which is $517. That is the objective. With a base of $517, well, in my country, that's practically like one person working for 2, right? Because the minimum wage is about half of that, right, Jessica? So in my country, well, this is already more than double what someone earns working from 8 to 5. And sometimes they work at night and don't get paid anything extra, just what they already have as their basic salary. So how do I reach these $517? How do I make them residual? By the way, an example is not just a way to teach. An example is the only way to teach. If I'm telling you this and I want to teach you this, is because I've already done it, right? And what was it that I did? And this is the most important thing you need to understand today. I have a work career of about 15 years. since I started making my first contact and work list, 15 years since 2009. It's already been 16 years, right? And how did we achieve this amount of capital? Currently, we have sold, or I have personally sold in my account in total volume with my entire team, because I haven't done it alone, with a leader's on $138,000. I'm a bull. We are about to claim, we are $15,000 away from claiming the $5,000 bonus, because we already claimed the $2,000 one, right? We've already claimed the $500, the $1,000, and the $250 bonuses. So that's the $3,750 right there. And these bonuses are paid to us every day. From Sunday to Sunday, they pay us for each one of them. Here, you get a breakdown right here below. Look, for example, here I've already been paid the award bonus income. See, from the 7th, today is the 7th, right? Look, they've already paid me some. 115, 46, 23, and 92, which altogether adds up to about $17. I want to tell you something. When I worked in the Air Force, to earn these 15, 17, I used to earn that. I used to make $17. To earn that amount, currently, there are coworkers who work 24 hours. No. They work there. They have to be available 24/7 and on average work 12 hours. They earn 17.25, which I now receive automatically. Let me ask you a question. Do you want to learn and know what I did to achieve that in less than 2 months? Raise your hand and tell me, yes, Juan, I want to learn it. I want to do it. I want to earn that. I want that to happen to me. Please tell me right there. I want that to happen to me. If that's the case, I'm going to tell you exactly how you have to do it, okay? First, you need to understand how long I've been developing this. So when there is a track record and experience, well, the only advantage I have over you is time and concentrated work, right? Yeah, silly. With the 2 checks we currently have, which today add up to about $1,500. With that, I wouldn't still be doing trainings and presentations right now. I'd be relaxing. But why do I keep doing it? Because I see that more can be done, and because I see that I can help many more people achieve it too, and that along the way, through helping them, I can also build much more myself. Basically, 1,500 is fine, but why not go for much more if you have the ability and the opportunity? All right? We'll talk about financial thermostats later. We'll talk about that later. But the most important thing you need to understand here is the following. You should approach this business the way many of us used to approach a job. We did it out of obligation, not out of choice, right? Where you had to show up at 7, you had to be there. I had to be lined up there every day at 7 and be ready there was a set time to arrive, but not to leave. Unlike many others, I was in the military. Unlike many people who at least know what time they're going to leave, right? So, well, that's what you have to do, and you need to organize yourself to use every possible duplication strategy. The first strategy you need to learn is attraction marketing. That's the very first thing you need to learn, okay? Share your results, show how little or how much you're earning. That's something important you need to do. The second thing is to share the information. Share the information through every channel and in every possible way. YouTube channel, in-person presentations, virtual presentations, giving the presentation, sharing the information. That's basically it. And after sharing the information, you need to do follow-up. And the follow-up is done with attraction marketing. Notice that it becomes cyclical, which means continuing to share valuable information through social media, right? Trainings, presentations, testimonials, events, trips, anything you want. Based on that, someone will come along and say, well, I want to give it a try. Why not? And the goal is to have as many $50 people as possible. Today, $50 gives you the chance to earn $5,000 in your first month. We made $5,000 in our first month. I have a video that I'm going to share with you right now at the end of the presentation in the private WhatsApp group we have, and I'll share it there. That's basically what we did, offering people the chance to earn an automatic monthly residual of 8%, but also giving people the opportunity to say, hey, I want to go for more. What else is there? Well, the first thing you get is a bonus ranging from 5 to 20%, which increases as you generate more volume. That's the first thing I explain to them. If you reach, for example, $1,000, you no longer earn 5%, but 5.5%, and so on. Additionally, if you find leaders and people who understand the business, you can earn a differential bonus. And that means if someone, for example, if you're already earning 7% and that person starts at 5, you earn that differential bonus, which is 2%. And if you reach a level of $25,000 in volume, you're not just earning those two bonuses, but you also start earning 10% of the commissions from your direct recruits. What does that mean? If someone earns $100 in commissions, you get 10% of that, which is $10. And on top of that, every time you reach a sales volume, for example, $5,000, you have the chance to earn a bonus of $250, which is paid at 13.8%, meaning $34.5. When you reach $10,000, now they pay you $500. So instead of paying you 34, they pay you 68. When you reach 25,000, then they no longer pay you the 500, but instead pay you 1,000. So instead of paying you 68, now they're paying you $136. And if you add 136 plus 68 plus 34, that gives you around $210 automatically. And if you go for the next one, the 50,000, when you have a volume of 50,000, then you get a bonus that's double this, 272. And if you add it all up, it comes to $517. And now you have a residual income that allows you to move forward, gives you the tools, enough money to be able to earn. So how can I get people to do this? By looking for and explaining this to as many of my direct recruits as possible, because you have to work directly with your direct recruits. Never stop sharing information with your direct recruits, because if you rely solely on leadership and let only them do the work, at some point you might stop earning. You have to do this every day, with the difference being that it's exponential. In a traditional job, you work every day and always get paid the same, unless you get a promotion, which is hard to achieve. Whereas here, the more you grow and advance, your commissions increase because you start earning bonuses. So for example, you reach a bonus like the $5,000 one, and with the $5,000 bonus, which we're about to achieve, yes, they already give us $690. So now we're talking about aiming for $1,200. So that sounds really nice, doesn't it? And sometimes you see it as so impossible, and you say, but when one, you have to do the work every day. What you really need to focus on is the $50 person. On the $50 person, because it's very hard for someone with $50 to say no to you. I know you want to close the $500 or the $1,000 deal, and of course you have to aim for that and tell them. The way I say it, I tell them, well, with $50, you make $4. I want you to know that. Oh no, that's not enough for anything. I tell them, well, then go find yourself 1,000, right? How much do I make with 1,000? $80. Oh, well, yes, that works for me. Do you have the 1,000? No. Start with how much? 50 is the minimum. And what do? Let's start working. Let's develop the work, get trained, practice, attend the events, okay? Also start doing the leadership, track the school of leaders. We have a school for leaders where we give people the opportunity to learn how to do the business so that in this way they can also start doing. In other words, you have the balance can tip either way. The first thing you need to look for is that builder, that person who is hungry, that person who wants a check of this size. And how do I manage to reach $50,000 in sales, Juan? Little by little, step by step. When you realize it, you say, well, but 50, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Let's go. Let's work with 18. I'm going to tell you why 18, okay? 18, you have $50, but over time, the person sees, hey, I am actually getting paid. Hey, yes, it's working, super cool. Hey, I want to withdraw it, they say to you. What happens is that the minimum withdrawals start at $30. Oh man, so what do? Put in at least 500, because with 500, you can take out $40 a month. And with that, you can already see how it works. No, but I don't have it. Then let's start working. find someone else with 100, another person with 50, show them the business model. When you realize it, you have a line with 50 times 18 that gives you 900. And along the way, in depth, the one who has to do the work is you, right? You have to tell that person, come here. Do you have 3 friends who might be interested in this? I'll help you. I'll help you explain it so that you earn the bonuses, so that you get the commissions. Look, if you manage to get someone to invest $1,000, you earn 50, and you automatically recover your investment. You can reinvest it or withdraw it however you want. So what happened there? Now you already have a volume of $1,900. Do you see that? And suddenly this other person over here starts working 1,000, another 1,000, another 1,000, right? And now you have 4,900 here. So you're just $100 away. You reach 5,000 and you earn the 250 bonus. Do you see that? So now you get a residual of 34, and you keep working with people you invite directly, as well as people you can work with in depth, helping them by explaining the business to them, showing them the way. And that way you help them see the business opportunities. So what happens when that person already has, for example, a volume of $1,000? You say to them, hey, did you notice that? About what? No, I didn't notice. Well, now you don't earn 5%, you earn 5.5%. How's that? So what happens then? They say, well, let's go for the next one. And what's the next one? 6%. And what happens then? Well, now you don't earn 5, you earn 6. Even if it seems obvious to you, listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you. Even if it's obvious to you, it's not obvious to everyone else. People have a bit of a hard time understanding it. Not because they lack the ability, but because it's new. It's because maybe as a leader who's been around for a while, you're like, I've already got this figured out. Here, the point is not pay attention to this. The point is not that you understand it. The point is that the people you're inviting get on the same wavelength, that they go for the bonuses, that they claim them, that they get motivated, that they get incentivized, that they go after that. Do you understand me? I mean, if not well, that would be way too easy, right? Here, it's about finding a way to connect people with the same vision so they can start taking action. That's why if you're in Bogota, in other words, you have the opportunity, you have the obligation to be in Bogota, because there's an in-person event where you'll get inspired, you'll meet people, you'll connect, you'll understand. And that way people will say, hey, I want to do this. I want to unde, I want to achieve it. I want that to happen to me. There will be testimonials from people, young people, adults, children who will share their stories and explain how they're achieving it, okay? Now, after that, you go for the next bonus and keep working on being upfront, keep sharing your results, no, don't worry about how little you might be earning. No, don't worry about that. What you need to do is share the information and tell people what I'm earning. Look, I've shown you all the steps with this account so you can see how I started. I started with $50 on March 10th, $50. And until the system asked me for the other $75 because I reached $5,000 in sales, right? $5,000 in sales. And to collect the $250 bonus you earn, you need to have a minimum investment of $125. So I started with the minimum with $50. And until I reached the 5,000 in volume, I didn't add the other $76 it asked for to claim the bonus. You see? I went and worked again. I made it to 10,000. And now the system says to me, do you want the $500 bonus? Yes, I want the $500 bonus. You need to have a minimum deposit of $250 in your account. I already had 126, so I added exactly and just barely the 124 I was missing. 250. I claimed the 500. Then I went for the 25,000. So to claim the 1,000 bonus, it required a minimum investment of 500. So I added the 250, I added the 500. and so on. And now to claim the 5,001 is going to ask me for a minimum investment of 2,500. Right now I have $1,000 in the account. So I need to add another 1,500, but first I do. First, I don't saddle up first. I don't buy the saddle. I buy the horse first, right? And how do I buy the horse? By reaching the goal. The goal for the 5,000 bonus is achieved with $100,000. Look at it here. To claim the $5,000 and get paid $690, great. But I need to have at least 2,500. Got it. We'll work on that and we'll make it happen. But I also need to have at least one line with $20,000. I already have that, which is Ana Maria, who already has $50,000. But I need to have one person at level 7, which I already have Ana Maria, and another person at level 6, which is Alicia, and I already have her too. And I need to have another one at level 6, which I don't have yet. We're working on that, right? So we've already made a sale of $150,000, but we still need the next line with a qualified person. Is anyone here interested in reaching rank 6? So I can share some of the bonus with you. Anyone who wants to reach rank 6, 25,000, who wants to earn the 250 bonus, the 500 bonus, and the 510, and the one for 1,000, one for $1,750, right? Let's see. I want to. Well, then, Catherine, I'm waiting for you. Alfonso, what's going on? Let's do what we can. Let's do it. Let's work on it. Let's see what we can come up with. Jessica, how much do we still need? Literally, let's see what we can come up with some leader, and we'll share it. We're willing to share part of the bonus, right? What do you say?
We're 14,000 short, Juan. All right, I'm on my way.
14,000. It's up to us to do it. One of the things I want to teach you is that you shouldn't wait for anyone else. No, if you start waiting for someone else, I mean, I'm grateful, really grateful to all the leaders. Great. I congratulate them, all of that. But the thing is, people, each person is their own world. And in business, you need to have a lot of character and a lot of maturity. And what I've learned during this time is that human beings, especially all of us who come from the base of the pyramid, I mean, in general, our position in society, those of us who are workers, laborers, the ones who got up early. I mean, none of us here were born with a crown already on our heads, destined to be the next kings, right? Isn't that true? And also, none of us were born with a wallet full of money, right? I mean, really full. Like the kind of full where you say, oh, if I lose $1 million, it's no big deal. My dad will just give me another million, right? Is anyone here like that? No? All right, very good. So having said that, we came into this world with many beliefs that were given to us with a lot of care and love by our parents, but they are the wrong beliefs, okay? So by having those beliefs, well, we end up being affected quickly and easily. Emotionally, we get affected by a look, by a comment, by something that didn't happen, by something that was said but didn't come true. Whereas the traditional entrepreneur, the real entrepreneur, has to deal with many problems every day, many problems that every day. See, that's the point. Problems for the entrepreneur will never end, just as solutions never will. That is maturity, and that maturity is what you have to achieve in this kind of business. So that's why I say this to you with a lot of affection and respect, and I'm grateful, but I don't expect anyone else to do what I really have to do myself. Now we have to build those 14,000, period, right? And if a leader shows up, well, they're welcome, thank you, we appreciate it and all that, but we still have to do it ourselves. That's why we build our own lines. And here comes the next message. Don't wait for absolutely anyone. Build your own lines and build your own ranks, qualify your own rank, and also qualify 3 ranks below you yourself. That way, if the leader ever gets tired, gets bored, or simply doesn't understand the business, you won't be left waiting on them. You'll be ready to move forward on your own. It's that simple. I mean, I'm telling you honestly, because what happens is, and now another thing you can do, and I'm telling you this as a strategy, support your leaders. And how can you support them? Of course, you can support them by, for example, using a strategy where your direct recruits who should be on your first line, you place them underneath to support your leader, right? But what happens is that's a strategy called link to link. Yes, you can do it and you can help them so they earn the bonus. But if you go that far, that's basically doing the work for them, right? Doing the work for them. Exactly. No, it's a strategy for leveraging and supporting others. All right. Yes, I believe you and we support you. Okay. But keep in mind that if you do that, you might also come across people who seemed fully intent on growing and helping, but who actually won't do anything because you're doing the work for them. So there's a very fine line between supporting and turning people into those who don't want to do anything, even if they seem completely willing, right? No one has come to me to help me build, absolutely no one. But since I put myself in that position, then what do? Well, I have to do the work myself, period. So the best strategy you need to achieve is to do the work every single day. I mean, if you were expecting me to say, no, there's a secret here, there's a shortcut over here, there's a detour, no. You have to present the business 8 to 10 hours a day, period. 8 to 10 hours a day. You spend 2 or 3 hours on attraction marketing, posting, results, testimonials, trainings, but the rest is spent presenting the business and connecting people to the system, connecting them to the networks, to Telegram, to the WhatsApp group, to social media, encouraging your team to watch the trainings. What you are doing here, this is extremely valuable because even though many of you already have this information, this constant connection allows people to understand the business that is already being built, that is already happening. And at the beginning, in the rush of daily life, you might get lost and see that the business keeps running and keeps generating revenue when you actually have the ability to do much more with a lot more strategy. That is the business itself. Now, something that can definitely help you a lot is compound interest. And I think the core team in Latin America has done a phenomenal job so that people can see the benefits that can be achieved through compound interest. Jessica, let's share a little about this quickly. Yes, when I say quickly, I don't mean to rush through it, no. Rather, try to share all the information. Even though you already have it extremely clear, but let's present it as an example and a comparison of what could happen. Go all out, Jesse.
All right, so let me explain. Here we have, well, the team has created this Google site about compound interest. Here you'll be able to click this button and access this Excel file where you can edit it. You can edit the areas that are in gray, okay? The rest must be left alone because it is already formulated. So on the page, on the Google site, there's an example for $1,000. And what are we aiming to convey with this information? What happens with a member who invests $1,000 in NV Global? What happens with the member who activates with the $1,000 plan? So there are many scenarios, all right? One scenario is that they activate as an investor and that's it. They simply leave their capital there for the required time, withdraw their profits, and that's all. There's another scenario, which is activating the plan, but also activating the business pack, which we mentioned is a booster. It helps you generate an additional 1%. So they activate the plan, activate the business pack, and leave it there for 2 years without touching it, and that's it. So in the first scenario, the person activates the $1,000 plan, leaves it for 1 year, earns $960, leaves it for 2 years, earns $1,920. At the end of the 2 years, they withdraw a total of $2,920, right? Their original $1,000 that they deposited at the beginning and the $1,900 in profits from the 2 years their capital was working. Then if they have the business back and do the same thing, leave it there for 2 years, they won't have $2,900, but instead will have $3,160 thanks to that additional 1% that was generated by acquiring the business back, right? But what happens if, in addition to simply having the GA, the capital, and activating the plan, this person decides not only to wait for it to generate profits, and that's it, but also each and every single month without fail, continuously opens up new plans with the profits that are generated by those same $1,000 over and over again. This would be compounding the interest, right? So I'm going to explain how that situation would work. You can do it in 2 ways. You can do it without having the business pack, or you can do it with the business pack. So let's explain the first way. The person starts with $1,000, right? They generate 8% per month and have a profit, a benefit of $80. All right, there it is. They have their 80, but then this person who wants to use the compound interest strategy, what are they going to do? He's not going to spend those $80. He's not going to withdraw them. What he's going to do is activate a new plan with those $80. Remember that the minimum to activate plans is $50. So now this person will not only have one plan of 1,000 within NV Global, but will have 2 plans, one of 1,000 and one of 80. After the second month, he will no longer generate $80 in profit, but 86, right? Because now he has 80 more working for him. So at the end of the second month, he repeats the process. He doesn't withdraw. He doesn't take it out, but instead activates a new plan. And now he doesn't have just one plan. He has 3 plans, the one of 1,000, the one of 80, and the one of 86. And he will repeat this process throughout the entire first year, okay? Done during the first year. What happens after the first year? After the first year, the first plan he opened, the one for $1,000, matures, they return his capital, and what are you going to do? Withdraw, right? You exit the risk, recover your $1,000 without any problem. So up to this point, in the first month of the second year, you already have your $1,000 out, right? However, you still have all these plans earning you returns month by month. So in the second year, what are you going to do? Each month, you will withdraw the plan that has matured, right? The plan that matures along with that month's profits. In other words, in the 12th month, you withdraw the $1,000 and you have 187 left, which you are also going to activate, right? And then in the second month of the second year, you will withdraw these $80 and the profits generated by the balance you had in plans within NV Global, which will be 12 plans, right? The plan that you activated each month with the profits generated by the $1,000 you were working with, right? So in the second year, what you are going to do is withdraw the profits from that month plus the expired plan. That way, the same $1,000 you were going to work with here will be working for you for 2 years while you eliminate risk in the first year, right? Because in the first year, your $1,000 plan matures and you withdraw it right away. And from then on, what you keep doing is collecting profits from the remaining plans plus the matured plan. Profits plus the matured plan. Here in this Excel sheet, maybe we can see it a little more clearly. So here at the end, you will have a profit of $2,238. $2,238 without a business pack. So I want you to compare here. Look, this is, let's see if I can. This is with compound interest and this is without compound interest. In other words, if you put the same $1,000 to work for 2 years without doing anything, just leaving them there, you will generate a profit of $2,900. But if you do the work of activating a plan each month with the profits, and in the second year, you just collect, and collect, in total, you will have a profit of $3,238 without having the business pack. In other words, here we're not talking about buying the business pack without actually having it. So look, in total, you will have an additional profit of $318. That is an extra 31% for having used the compound interest strategy. How about that? How's it going, Juan?
So the thing is, Jesse, and I have to say, a lot of people ask me, well, Juan, what do you recommend? I tell them, look, if you have the chance, for example, to have a plan where you can withdraw daily or monthly every 15 days, and another one that lets you earn compound interest, that's the best.
Great, because you'll have both things. You'll have liquidity, but you'll also have a plan that capitalizes much more for you.
And on the other hand, use the strategy by cycles. I'm not sure if I've explained that part to you yet.
Well, first, I was going to explain the basics because the other part is a bit more complicated.
The cycle strategy is the best because, I mean, you'll take much more advantage of compound interest and you don't have to wait the whole time, so you get greater benefits. But basically, the first thing you need to have is the business pack. Right now, in the team, we have about 5 people with the business pack. I'd also like us to emphasize that Jesse Business Pack basically gives you 1% more on new plans and an additional percentage in commissions. Let's see if you have anything about the business pack on hand to help explain it, because there are people who might not fully understand what the business pack is.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And seeing those benefits, as you can clearly see, will truly assist you in understanding the significant magnitude and overall impact of the business pack for your business or organization. Go ahead, Jesse.
All right. So the business pack costs $1,000. Okay. What do? You pay $1,000 to receive the benefits. What are the benefits? Mainly, you'll earn an additional 1% in commissions for direct sales, which essentially means you get a little extra for every sale you make directly. In other words, if you are at rank 0, but you activate a business pack, then you no longer have to sell $2,500 in order to get a 6% benefit because it's already activated for you immediately with no extra steps required at all. And you can start enjoying the benefit right away. But for example, we have people who are already at rank 6 right now, right? They have an 8% commission bonus for direct sales. If they had the business pack, they would be earning 9%. And from $25,000 in sales to the $75,000, they need to reach that new 9%. That's $50,000. In other words, the business pack, you pay $1,000 upfront. And in doing so, you're actually saving yourself $50,000 in sales that you would otherwise need to make in order to be able to raise your bonus level. I honestly think the business pack is really, truly interesting, especially for people who are building the network, who are working the business, and who are truly, genuinely focused on their sales and their overall long-term growth and success, as well as their ongoing achievement. You have to have the business pack.
Absolutely. You have to have the business pack in order to earn that additional percentage on your own investment plans, which is no longer 8, but 9. Right now, you're going to show the difference that extra 1% makes and the commissions that are generated, which now start at 6 instead of 5. And as your volume increases, your sales grow significantly. So it's as if you had already sold $50,000 when you only sold $20,000, right?
Exactly.
That's the big difference with the business pack. Let's go back to the Excel sheet and compare that plan a bit. How do I access these tables, Jesse? Because they look so nice, but where are they? Where can I get this information? The presentation?
On the YouTube channel. Look, you just go to the YouTube channel. Let's do it here.
Look, there's an interesting question. It says, does the business pack also generate 8%? Let me explain this little part here. In a way, it's just that it's still a bit hard for someone.
Look, no, here they are. Well, yes.
It's still a little hard to understand with so many presentations, so dynamic, so cool, but hey, can I share, please? Let me share. But I think some people still prefer it with pen and paper. Who agrees with me that it's better explained like that with pen and paper? Yeah, like when someone explains it to you with little sticks and circles. Let's see. Look, when you buy the $1,000 business pack plan, right? With a business pack, that plan automatically gives you a $500 license. All right? $500. What does that mean? It means you get a $500 investment license. Instead of seeing 1,000, you see 500. Because the other 500 goes to the compensation plan. I'm going to explain that now. Those 500 start earning at 9%. 9%. 5 times 9 is 45, right? So I'm multiplying the 500 by 9%, which comes out to $45 per month. If I multiply those 45 by 12 months, which is what the plan pays me, right? That generates $540 a year for me. I request the withdrawal of my 500, which means that the 1,000 I invested pays itself back and gives me $40 in profit. Up to that point, it's fine. I didn't do much. I made $40. But what happens? If you have additional plans after buying the business pack and you buy a $1,000 plan, it no longer pays you 8%. It pays you 9%. So now you earn $90. And that means 90 times 12, that's $1,080. On the 1,000 you invested, which you withdraw after a year, you matter divided by 1,000, right? You made 108% instead of the 96% you get without having bought the business pack. First, that's one thing. Second, if you're doing duplication, if you're referring others, then you don't earn 5%. You don't start earning that, but instead you earn 6%. And that, in a little chart we have, tells us the following. When you, let's see, Jessica, without sharing your screen, just tell me. 8% is $25,000. In other words, when you have sold $25,000, you will be paid 8% on the plans you sell additionally, that is, from that point on. But with the business pack, it's as if you were already at 9% because you earn an extra 1%, which is like if I had sold how much, Jessie?
75,000.
So just imagine, if you don't have the business pack, what the system actually tells you is that in order to earn a 9% referral commission, normally you have to sell at least $75,000, period. But if you have the business pack with just $25,000 in sales, you start earning 9%. Another example, when you reach around $100,000, which is normally when you would earn 10%, that how much do you actually earn 10%?
In 125,000, with 125,000, you earn 10%.
With 125,000, you earn 10%. With the business pack, you would be at 11%, as if you had sold how much?
Double that, 200,000.
$200,000. If you don't buy the business pack, you have sold $200,000 and you earn 11%. Without the business pack, with the business pack, you have sold $125,000 and you are earning 11%. That's the big difference. The difference is $75,000. The difference is $50,000 at this level. So it's almost mandatory for you to have a business pack. And if you get your network to become business pack as well, then each of your referrals buys the business pack, right? And automatically you earn a 20% direct bonus, $200. And if he does the same thing trying to earn the $200, you earn $100 from that person. And if he does the same thing, you earn is it 100 or 50, Jesse? On the first, second, third.
Can you repeat that? Sorry about that.
On the third level of the business pack, how much do I earn? 100 or 50?
50.
And in the room?
50.
You earn up to a fourth level, 200, 150, and 50. Do you see that? So that allows you to have another source of income. And here I also want to reinforce the NEVA auto system just before I hand it back to you for compound interest. NEVA auto also has a referral system. Jesse, have we already doubled that or not yet?
Yes. Yes, of course. This week, during our intensive compensation plan session, we also talked about NEVA auto.
To be eligible for the NEVA auto bonus, you need to make a minimum investment of $10,000. NEVA auto gives you the opportunity to earn at 16.6% for 6 months, which means you double your money in 6 months so you can buy a car. The minimum is $10,000, right? So that after 6 months, you can claim $20,000. With this, You buy the car, put the NV Global sign on it, just like in the video that's on the YouTube channel with the Audi, right? And then you qualify to have the car for at least a year with the NV Global advertising, your social media, your WhatsApp. So people can ask you, so what is this NV Global? But only with that benefit. But what happens if, for example, you say, cool, but I don't have that kind of capital, but you refer them, right? The person who is going to activate this plan must have a minimum investment of $3,000 plus the $10,000 they will put into the Naboro program. These $3,000 will earn you 8% without the business pack and 9% with the business pack. And these $10,000 won't generate anything for you until after 6 months. That is $20,000. Okay? That's it. But what happens if you refer this? Jesse, what happens if I refer this on the first level? How much do I earn?
Well, for the first level, you would be earning, hold on a moment, okay? The first level, meaning for direct referrals, generates a 5% bonus.
5% of what was invested. If that person invested $10,000, he made $500.
Exactly.
On the second,
it's 2%.
Third, 2, and fourth one.
Third, 1 and 1. Third, 1, fourth, 1.
So there's also a referral plan that you can take advantage of in the NAVE Auto program. So as you can see, there are a number of benefits that you might be overlooking. And what I want to repeat and emphasize, it's not about you being able to do everything. It's about you having clear information so that when the opportunity comes up, you never know what someone out there might need. What if the person has the money for the car and you with business, see the possibility and you don't have the clear information. So I congratulate you again for being here and staying connected. Let's finish up with compound interest, Jesse, because I'm about to start another meeting.
All right.
5 more minutes and we're done.
So, well, to get straight to the point, what we want to highlight is the importance of doing compound interest or not, and whether to do it with or without the business pack. Look, for example, here is the same table. The explanation is exactly the same as before. First year, you activate new plans with the profits. Second year, you withdraw profits and expired plans. So what would be the difference? If you do compound interest with the business pack, if you don't do compound interest and you have the business pack, at the end of 2 years, you will have a total of $3,160. But if you use compound interest and also have the business pack, then you will generate a total of $3,787, a 62% increase just for having done the work month by month. As we mentioned, this is calculated month by month, but you can do it much more frequently by activating $50 plans each time they're completed, and these numbers will be much higher, right? And one last important thing I'd like to highlight is that not only, the act of using compound interest doesn't just benefit the person who is activating the plans, the one working with their own capital. It will also, in fact, benefit you as leaders, because every single month, a new plan will be activated within the company. So if you have a $1,000 plan, let's say you're at rank 3, right? You're at rank 3. So for a $1,000 plan, you're going to earn $65, right? $65 because you don't have the business pack. If you had the business pack, it would be $75, but as it is, it's $65. In addition to that, throughout the year, this person will be opening new plans in such a way that in the end, they will generate a total of $163 thanks to the compound interest that their team has also developed. So look, they will go from to earning more than doubling commissions than they were originally going to earn, thanks to promoting compound interest within the team. So it's something that benefits both the person developing the strategy and the leader who promotes it. So I would also like you to review these numbers, check your clients, the people you have with you, the people who are on your team, and start promoting this so you can generate greater benefits.
Hi, Jesse. Could you please tell me where I can find these tables somewhere that's really easily accessible, if possible, please?
You can go to YouTube, go to Estrategia, any Any Strategia training has it. Every Strategia training has the link. Look, for example, this was last week's, I think, or 2 weeks ago. First of all, so here in the video description, it's the first link. In the video description, the first link in the description of the Strategia videos, that's where it is, okay? Look, I open it here and it takes me right there, all right?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to everyone who took advantage of this opportunity. I want to reiterate that the event attendance was recorded. I've already shared it. The most efficient person I know in life is myself. No, just kidding. That's it. Everything's done. While you were still thinking about it, I was already doing it. Look, it's already been shared in the group. If I don't give myself credit, who will? Jesse? Not even you. Jessica, who knows everything I work on and do, right? You never say congratulations or anything.
Not true.
It's fine anyway. I keep moving forward. Well, the information has already been shared. And please, if you are in Bogota, go and get to know the leadership and be part of that pioneering team that right now is giving it their all going above and beyond so that we can really start generating great results. Let's not wait for the leader to arrive. People are already coming who see the opportunity, and that's why they're making the numbers happen. So congratulations on that. 3:30 in the afternoon at the Black Tower Hotel on Avenida Esperanza in Bogota. Go get to know people, network, and invite others. Bring your mom, your dad, your brother, and get them to take part in this great business. Congratulations and have an excellent day. See you soon. Take care. See you soon. Bye. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you to all the leaders. Take care. See you. Bye.
Bye.